What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another predictions video from the guys here at the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am Kyle Gagliardi alongside Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Turkey!
What's going on, Kyle?
This is take 2 for the people out there. We've done this before. You just haven't seen it.
Yes. No. Yeah. So, not many surprises in the way of you and I right now. I decided to record a slow motion video of our predictions podcast. If we were to put that out, it would be 2.5 hours of us talking slowly. You wouldn't even be able to hear it. So you're welcome.
You don't have to deal with that. Yeah. We're here. We're live. It's finally recording. And we are back for the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Don't forget to subscribe to us here on Overtime Sports Network. You can check out the website at otsportsnetwork.com. And where can you follow them on social media, Tuck?
If you go over to Twitter, @_OTSN on Twitter, that's where you get the whole timeline of everything that's popping up from blogs and podcasts, all the podcasts in the network. So there's another wrestling podcast.
There is.
There's a Griffle Talk. That's a wiffle ball podcast.
There is.
Our On the Mark Wrestling podcast.
The best on the network.
Wheelhouse Baseball pops up every once in a while. Fam Divided.
Coming back next week.
Here we go. So sports world has been dormant, and so in relation has OTSN. So we're coming back. We're making a slight comeback.
But wrestling has been carrying the network for now, and that's why we are here on this YouTube channel. So make sure you show them some love on those social media accounts for sure. But overall excitement level for this pay-per-view, where are we sitting at here?
Same excitement level as in take number 1, right in the middle.
The bar!
Yes. We'll talk about that.
Well, we will. Some say we have talked about that, but once again, you haven't heard that yet. The first matchup here is a bar fight between Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. This isn't 100% confirmed, but the rumors are going on that that is what it is going to be. So let's say this matchup does happen. These two have had 2 matches before. One on the SmackDown Intercontinental Championship Tournament, and the other at Money in the Bank. So we're dead even at 1. Who's going to win this grudge match here in a bar fight?
Well, Mikey Wilson from the Region Degenerates podcast, which is on the Overtime Sports Network, he's vying for the WWE title as well. We have a replica title on the line with a nameplate for the On the Mark podcast pay-per-view predictions.
You can't see it, but it's to my left. You're right.
And Ryan Vogus, a loyal listener, is also in the predictions with us. He still has to get his picks in.
Cheater.
Mikey picked Sheamus. Not a crazy move. Not a crazy stretch.
It's possible with knowing where Jeff Hardy's at, or I should say with not knowing where Jeff Hardy's at. Could he jump ship to AEW or whatnot? It would make sense, but you're going with...
I'm going with Jeff Hardy. Unless something crazy like Cesaro shows up for...
The bar
fight. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy. I think with the fragility of the angle, right? We're dealing with Jeff Hardy's alcoholism, being an alcoholic and things like that, dealing with those problems. I think it would be a nice way for Jeff Hardy to come out on top. I wouldn't be surprised if Sheamus won, but I'm hoping for Hardy, and hopefully a win here maybe cements him into WWE a little bit more long term.
Yeah, so maybe a bigger title picture or whatnot. But even Jeff Hardy referenced it on SmackDown, I believe, last week. He's fighting 2 demons here. Mm-hmm. You know, the alcoholism with the bar. And then Sheamus, it's basically a handicap for him mentally. So Sheamus pick's not dumb, but I'm not going with that personally. I'm going with Jeff Hardy because it is virtually a grudge match here. I think we need to end this feud. If you have Sheamus win, it could end the feud, but it's a lot better when, the good guy gets the win and overcomes something here. And he would definitely be overcoming a lot of things by winning the bar fight. So I'm going with Jeff Hardy. You're going with Jeff Hardy. Mikey's going with Sheamus. We don't know Vogus' pick yet, but that's how we're going here. If that match happens, we got to remember that's not official yet. We are recording this on Thursday. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's Friday. That's SmackDown. We'll probably learn more then. So the next matchup that's not official, but once again could be announced. We got the New Day, the champions. We should probably do that better. The New Day versus Cesaro and Nakamura, and the rumored is that this will be a tables match because, once again, if you watch SmackDown, New Day went through a table.
Yes, Kofi was thrown through a table that had Big E on it, so the angle there, it does make sense. I think it would be a good one. I'll go first with my pick. I side with Mikey here. Mikey's a little bit of a maverick with his picks, but we agree here. We're both picking the New Day. I think in a live crowd-less time as we are in COVID-19, I think the New Day are better personalities to carry the titles. And moving forward, Cesaro and Nakamura are great wrestlers. I don't know that they're going to be able to engage and break that fourth wall, get to the audience that is really only behind the camera. So, what do you pick? Who are you picking?
Yeah, that reasoning is exactly behind my picking of the New Day. I think if this was in front of a crowd and you can get that heat for Nakamura and Cesaro winning, then they might pull the trigger. But it's safe right now during these times to have arguably the most entertaining team in the history of WWE. Just keep running with the belts for now. I mean, you can't do any wrong with having Kofi and Big E. And maybe we see Xavier Woods return and help him out. It's a tables match.
It would be cool, yeah. And there is that fixture. He can get into the mix without repercussions, so we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. The next match up here, these are the matches we know that are happening, is the United States Championship match between Apollo Crews, the champion, and MVP, the man who has introduced the new belt to the WWE Universe. What are your thoughts on that belt, first off?
I think the belt looks great. I like the modernization of it. I know that there's a lot of people on social media that talk about they dislike it or they favor the old style championships.
The old one's very bland.
I think I think it's time for an update, and I think they did it pretty well. I like the eagle on it. It's the United States champion, America.
It's a clean, modern, American look.
Yes.
And I commend MVP for bringing that into the fold here. But do you think MVP has a chance here, or are you going with Crews to retain?
I am going with Crews to retain, and I think he's going to steal the new title from MVP. Mikey sides with me. What do you say?
I am not siding with you, and this would have been more of a surprise if this was the first time recording.
That is correct.
But it's the second, as we alluded to earlier. I'm going with a new United States champion in MVP. MVP, in my opinion, has been one of the best and most consistent things on TV. I like him in that manager role, but giving him a title match here, why not give it to MVP? He's been great, like I said, and he has a history of winning United States championships back in the day. Like, when people ask, who's the first person you think of when you see that belt, the old one, a lot of people would say MVP. But I think he's going to keep that new design, win it, and go on a little run, and that way Apollo can eventually get it back. I think if we want to keep this thing going, might as well have MVP win. And maybe a triple threat with Lashley's in the future.
Yeah. Lashley.
Leo Rush is not in the company anymore. So,
he
Leo Rush.
Collect his unemployment.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's nice of you to bring that up. Next match up here is what really brought the horror show to fruition. It's the eye for an eye match between Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins. I'm not really sure what to expect here. There's rumors of CGI being involved.
Yeah.
There's the dynamic, can Dominic, Rey's son, turn heel? Could Austin Theory show up? There's a lot of things that could happen here.
A lot of potential moving parts.
Expect the unexpected, some would say here. I don't think Dominic's going to turn because I think that's kind of obvious. And with Rey Mysterio's contract, he doesn't even have one right now.
Right.
He's wrestling with no contract. I don't think it makes sense for him to win here. I think Seth Rollins needs this win more. He's got the Messiah gimmick going on. It's very good. He's getting very, very entertaining with that gimmick. And the only way you can go on with this is him extracting the eye from Rey Mysterio.
He's going to have to pluck it out of Mysterio's skull. That is actually going to happen.
Real. This is real.
Real life. The eyeball is going to be pulled out. It's going to be gruesome.
Legal.
Yeah.
In WWE, this is legal. So you can't take somebody's eye out.
Yeah, and then you're no manslaughter or domestic. Yeah, it's going to be
another day in the office.
Crazy.
Who you going with?
I'm picking Seth Rollins. Mikey's on the bandwagon with me. I think having Mysterio, he's only going to actually lose one eye. We hope he'll regain sight in the other eye.
I was going to say, is it going to be the same eye? Because then he can't watch Dominic get married.
But then that's a double win. If he only takes out the bad eye, he still has the one good eye.
That's good, but we know Seth. He's going for that good one.
Yes, because he is a savage. I think Seth needs a win. He needs something. I don't know that the Monday Night Messiah gimmick has went as well as he's thought. I think it's getting better by the week, but I'm picking Seth Rollins for this one.
You know what I'm also thinking is I think the theme's kind of growing on me too. Mm-hmm. It's good. It's with the Messiah gimmick. I'm starting to like it. I do miss Burn It Down, but
that got me going. Yeah,
yeah, that was my rendition of that. SmackDown Women's Championship: Bayley versus Nikki Cross. A shocker here is Mikey Wilson's going with Nikki Cross to become the SmackDown Women's Champion. I don't know how smart that is, but Bayley's having a good run now that she's got Sasha by her side.
Yeah, maybe Mike doesn't actually want the belt. That could be a play.
He doesn't have room for it in this place. That's what it is.
I guess, but he is choosing Nikki Cross. Mike is a maverick with his picks, and he's either going to beat us all by like 3 or 4 choices here, or coming dead last.
I'm going to go with dead last.
I have to lean that way, but I'm not so, you never know.
Yeah.
I'm picking Bayley. I think Nikki Cross is getting better, and she's becoming a better wrestler.
She's solid.
She's definitely benefited with Alexa Bliss, but I think Bayley needs that gold to maintain kind of the dynamic between her and Sasha, and that ties in with my next pick.
Yeah.
Who are you going with?
I'm going with Bayley as well. I think this is one of the easiest, if not the easiest pick on the card. I also believe Sasha Banks is going to get involved. It's going to be interesting to see how the card lines up and, which match is going on first. But I'm going with the thought that this will go on before the Raw Women's Championship. So I'm going to say that Sasha somehow gets involved to help Bayley retain her title. Just, role models helping each other out there and keeping those titles. So I'm going with Bayley to retain. You're going with Bayley to retain. Yeah. Mikey's going with Nikki Cross, and I would assume Ryan Vogus, the fourth man in the predictions competition, would go with Bayley as well. It's just a guess. So next matchup here is another women's title match, the Raw Women's Championship. Asuka, the Raw Women's Champion, versus Sasha Banks. Is it my turn to go first?
It is.
I think Bayley's going to want to return a favor here. Yeah. You helped me out. You helped me retain against Nikki. I want to try to help you win that Raw Women's Championship.
And Nikki can look really strong in that Cross vs. Bayley match, and it almost require Bayley to need Sasha. So
exactly,
Nikki Cross also wins in that match. So pairing that with your Banks and Asuka claim, Sasha comes back to help out, or Bayley comes back to help Sasha out.
Yeah, and it doesn't go right. I think this is the time where we get a big moment to lead to SummerSlam, because that is the next show. We know we are getting to the point where it's going to be Bayley versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And the only way to get there is start making cracks in the storyline. We were there a couple months ago, but the bond has been really strong lately.
Yes, and there's, it's almost like they're playing with us sometimes on the weekly episodes, that you can see the bubbles in the water, that there could be a look here, a glance here, the way they say some things. So you picked Asuka?
I'm going with Asuka. And another reason I also am, I don't watch Raw Talk, but on Raw Talk, Kairi Sane said, I am ready for Asuka. So I think if that is maybe a match we want to do at SummerSlam, maybe a send-off for Kairi, because there's rumors of her leaving and retiring from wrestling. Maybe she wants to wrestle Asuka. So, with that being said, you can't have that match if Asuka doesn't retain. So I'm going with Asuka.
I am also going with Asuka. I think with my Bayley pick, I think you get booked into a corner if Bayley and Sasha both have the titles and the tag titles.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's tough. It's a lot of friction. Now, Mikey's picking Sasha Banks, and
spin
in my head, flipping 2 titles there. I think his dissension between the two is going to come from Bayley losing and Banks winning, some jealousy or envy between the two of them, and that could segue into SummerSlam.
But then Sasha's on Raw and Bayley's on SmackDown.
Yeah, but they do have the tag titles to run between all 3 brands.
Also true, yeah.
That could be a thing. I don't know how that match lines up.
It depends on where it's at on the card.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I'm picking Asuka. Mikey with Banks. He's trying to make a statement.
Banks statement. Get it? Sasha Banks. She's a wrestler. Next matchup here, the WWE Championship. We don't know the stipulation yet. Rumors are going around of what the stipulation could be. I have heard from Bully Ray on Busted Open that maybe it will be a no Claymore allowed. That is a DQ, and Dolph would win if Drew uses that finisher. So that's my prediction on what the stipulation actually will be, because it kind of makes sense storyline-wise.
Yeah.
Dolph's been referencing the Claymore a lot on the build, but Dolph just came over from SmackDown. Do you really think he has a chance here to win the WWE Championship?
I don't. I'm taking McIntyre regardless, not without knowing the stipulation. I don't think.
Do you have a prediction on the stipulation?
A Zig for Zag match.
Okay.
That's
another play on a finishing move. Right?
I have no idea. Mikey said potentially a gauntlet match. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know who Ziggler is tight enough with in that locker room.
Not on Raw, unless it's Rude.
Okay,
that's gauntlet, two guys.
You get through Bobby Roode, then you have to get through me.
Mikey, come on.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know what a gauntlet match is.
A tables, ladders, and chairs match.
Yeah, could be.
If you a street fight, DQ.
Seen so many of those.
Those types of matches almost favor McIntyre more. He's just bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
I feel like
Dolph's a crafty guy.
Has to put McIntyre at a disadvantage. Something like a lack of a Claymore during the match would, but we'll see.
Who you going with?
I'm going with McIntyre, and Mikey is as well, and you're going with?
Drew McIntyre. During the COVID era, as we keep calling on the podcast, Drew's been great.
Yep.
There's no other way to put it. He just got to that 100-day mark. It doesn't make sense for him to lose it to Dolph Ziggler. No offense to him, because he's very good, but he's not on Drew's level right now. And I think it will be a good match. We will have some near falls. There will be some moments where you maybe think Dolph is going to win, but that's not going to happen.
Well, and if you're booking Ziggler and McIntyre, it should be a straight-up squash. Adding the stipulation is going to give the match a little bit more legs.
And that's probably why they did that.
Right. It makes sense.
It only makes sense. So that means there's only one match left on the card. It may not be the main event, but I just found out today this is not a title match. It is Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt in a Wyatt Swamp fight. Crazy to me that this isn't a title match, but I guess it kind of makes sense amongst all the circumstances.
It is interesting, and I think because it isn't a title match, that makes me want to lean towards Bray Wyatt. It's a Wyatt Swamp fight. It's not a Wyatt and Friends Wyatt Strowman Swamp fight. It's not just a swamp fight. They're putting the name on it for a reason.
Yeah. No title on the line also.
Bray Wyatt comes out with a win, and I think Strowman does come out of it changed. I think there's something that's going to happen to Strowman. Yes, and then I think the penultimate match ends up at SummerSlam. I'm picking Bray Wyatt. I could see Strowman winning. I'm not nearly as confident as this one is such like a Bayley and Cross match. But, I think you got to go with Wyatt.
If this was for the title, I would say Braun Strowman.
I agree.
Just because this version of Bray Wyatt that we're getting is the Bayou version that we started off with when we saw Bray Wyatt on the main roster. Mm-hmm. Since this is a Wyatt Swamp fight, you really can't have Bray Wyatt lose it. It just doesn't make sense. And if we want to keep this storyline going on till SummerSlam so we can eventually get to The Fiend versus Braun Strowman for the title, the only way to do that is Bray picking up a win. So I do believe Bray is going to win, and obviously it's not for the title like we said, so it will prolong this feud even more. Mikey Wilson also going with Bray Wyatt, and this is something that just popped into my head. Where's Otis been?
Yeah.
Otis is Mr. Money in the Bank. What if Otis is hanging out in the swamp? Have we ever thought about that?
No.
Otis could be hanging out in the swamp. What if that happens?
Well, he's a big boy. He could be getting swamp ass. That could be a thing that, he's got, because he's got the swamp, he's in the...
Yeah, on a boat with Mandy. They're Mandy! They're just hanging out in the swamp. I can actually see that.
Like a little river cruise down the bayou,
He's got his shirt off, and he's just eating cheese and crackers.
Yes.
Yeah, it's something to keep an eye out for. So if it happens, we told you so.
There you go. You're welcome.
Here at OTM. So after all is said and done... Yeah, no, it's not a spoiler. After all is said and done, we only differ on one match.
Yes, the most important match between you and I is going to come down to the United States title match between Apollo Crews and MVP.
Some could say that might be the most valuable pick for me, the MVP.
And some would say that I'm going to cruise my way to the title. I'm back.
If you've tuned out by now, I don't blame you.
Yes.
Actually, you should keep watching and, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, all that stuff.
Leave us a comment with your predictions. Do you think Mikey's an idiot like sometimes we do, or do you think one of us is a dummy? Yeah. He's my best friend, so...
Okay. I'll say always.
If he is an idiot, I'm also an idiot. Not too far from the truth.
Also was the guy that didn't record this video on the first try and put it in slow motion. So you could call him an idiot. But make sure you follow us on Twitter at PodOnTheMark. Tuck, where can they follow you?
Don't forget to find me at JimTuck89. If you see a caricature cartoon picture and the word Tucky, you're in the right place.
That is him. And you can follow me at 2SweetKyle. That's 2Sweet. And we will talk to you next time on YouTube with another pay-per-view predictions video. See ya.